Hi, it's a beautiful day here in Central Oregon, and I'm looking forward to a nice little talk here with a good friend of mine named Austin Bennett. And even at his young age, he's had a very interesting life and a lot of life lessons that we might all learn from. So here we go for Austin Bennett. Okay, Austin, can you tell us who you are?
Yeah, my name's Austin Bennett. I'm almost 23 years old. I'll be 23 in 2 days, and I'm a big-time soccer player, Nike fanatic. I actually work for the company, and I'm ready to tell my story. I was born in 1994, May 14th, Beaverton, Oregon. My parents then moved to Seaside, Oregon, and I grew up there for a few years, and then on to Oregon City, and that's where I kicked the ball for the first time and instantly fell in love with it. Then we ended up here in this beautiful town of Redmond, Oregon. That's where we're at now, down at the Central Oregon Skate Park. My dad is a local insurance agent here. He owns AIC Insurance Agency, Alternative Insurance Choices. My mom is a huge entrepreneur. She owns Umbrella for Life, which is where women find grace from the rain is what it stands for, and it's all about support groups for women and finding that competitive edge for women in the world and getting them that extra boost, which I think is an awesome thing. I have a few brothers and sisters. When I was 16 years old, we adopted my older brother. His name's Ivan. He's 25, and then it goes me, and then I have a younger brother, Chase. He's going to be 21 this year. And then I have a younger sister, Brooklyn, who's 18, and then a little sister, Delaney, who's 17 years old, and she'll be 18 on the 19th this year. So.
Were you an inside kid or outside kid?
Oh, always outdoors, drinking water from the hose. I mean, getting your knees bloody, riding bikes, motorcycles. I mean, you name it, we were outdoors, catching bugs. I mean, the whole 9 yards, total outdoor, backdoor kid.
What kind of values do you think you learned from your mom and dad, you think, that mean a lot to you now?
There's too many to count, really. I would say always be humble. Don't be quick to judge, because, I mean, everybody comes from a different story of life. And always approach a situation with an open mind and an open heart. My dad was actually an Oregon State wrestler. And my mom still holds a bunch of records in her high school for track. So I mean, both my parents were athletes. So coming right out of the chute, we were running, man. Kindergarten, they put a ball at my feet, and that's where my whole world just changed. I started to learn how to juggle and to run with the ball, and during doing layovers and all kinds of stuff, volleys, scissors, I mean, you name it. Then my dad got really into the sport and became my coach from kindergarten all the way up until my 8th grade year, where I went into high school. And yeah, I've been an athlete ever since I could walk, man. Of course, Pelé was a huge influence on me, and then David Beckham, and I mean, all my real heroes are soccer players, of course. But in 2006, Cristiano Ronaldo became my real kicker. When I was 17 years old, I got an invite for Portland U23 tryouts, and we went to Portland, and I played there for 2.5, 3 weeks. It went really well. I was playing with players from Brazil and Africa and Argentina and just players all over the world. Really great, eye-opening experience for me. But unfortunately, they did cut me, which ended up being okay because I got to play my senior year with my boys here in Redmond. And then after that, I got an invite to go pursue it as a Seattle Sounder and Bremerton Kitsap Pumas. And I did that as well. Unfortunately, I suffered a knee and ankle injury, and that cut me short. But about a year later, I got an invite to go give it a shot in Las Vegas, and that's where my whole world just absolutely flipped upside down. Everything in life is a competition. In my world, there's no freebies. There's no handouts. If you want it, you got to work for it, and it's the blood, the sweat, the tears. When you grind, man, you get it. There's nothing in this world that is out of your reach. If you've got the determination and you've got the strength and the power to get there.
You know, what position do you play, and why? You know, are you good at it?
Am I good at it? I would like to say I can hold my own. I'm not going to say that I'm better than everybody else, but I've paid my dues and I've worked my butt off to get where I've been. And so I'd say if I'm not better than a lot of people, I'd be a little disappointed with how many hours I've put out on this pitch. But yeah, I play center back to right wing back in the defense. If you don't know what soccer is, I mean, it's totally defensive, protecting the goalkeeper. When I originally went to Spain with my first trial, I went in as a center forward, and they looked at me and they said, "Bennett, you're 6'2". Average height here is 5'7". We need to have you in the back." And so it worked out perfect. I mean, I get along with all the guys in the back. I know how to read the offense because I came from an offensive position, and it pays off really well for me.
Can you talk a little bit about your grandfather, or the hero?
Yeah, my great-grandfather, John Weber, general in World War II for the Marine Corps. Brilliant man. Very, very proud to have that heroic blood in my family and running through my veins. He's got all kinds of war stories, and he's actually passed away now, but he took a bayonet through the leg, laid on the battlefield for, I don't want to butcher the story, but a good amount of days, and pretended like he was dead while the Japanese went around and stabbed all the dead. And he held true and made it through that. And then he also got hit by a tank exploding, and he's got shrapnel in his back, and he is the real deal, an all-American badass. And I'm so proud to say that his blood is in my veins. And Madrid was very nice. I was there for about a month and a half, and I trained, and it was actually really nice because I have a little bit of Spanish blood in me, and I got to see some of my family and my cousins and my uncles that live over in Madrid, and I got to stay with a couple of my uncles. That was awesome. The hospitality was great. Everybody in Madrid was absolutely fantastic towards me. When I got to Barcelona, it was a little bit different. But I mean, there's a little bit of a rival going on between the Madridians and the Catalonians. So me going in wearing my Real Madrid jersey, I mean, I got a little bit of flack of that in Barca. But I would say my overall experience in Spain was 10 out of 10.
I noticed you spent a lot of time helping kids, things like that, and being a coach for other kids. How do you like that? I'm getting chills talking about that one. It's actually a really remarkable experience when you take somebody or a whole group of people at once that didn't know one thing, and then you work with them for a couple of hours, or it might be months, it might be weeks, or just a day or so, and you see them better off once they had that coaching with you. It's just it's a reward that speaks for itself. I mean, you see these kids and they just light up, and it's an experience all on its own. I would say standing in a soccer stadium and hearing 100,000 people cheer your name is an experience all on its own as well. But I mean, when you see a kid do something that he couldn't do before, that you influence on him, it's just like that. I would say that right there is very, very close and excitement for me, because there's just nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. Can you talk about some of the highs and lows? Like, you had those highs, those crowds, but then yes, when they told you that you're gonna have to leave, how was that?
That was a very emotional piece of my life. I still get choked up about it every once in a while. I was living the dream, tons of friends, fast cars, I mean, you name it, to back to being poor. But I mean, it's one of those humbling experiences, man. You got to take everything in life that comes to you with both hands and run with it, because you never know how long it's gonna last. Yeah, when I was back here and they called me and said, "Hey, this isn't gonna work out. It was kind of like, oh, there's words that I would like to say that I probably shouldn't, but it was heartbreaking. It was every 20 years of my life that I put with the ball at my feet just to get where I was. It was like somebody took my birthday away, but forever. So very crippling, very humbling. I'm not gonna say don't let it get to you, because it got to me, and I let it wreck me for a really long time, but now I can happily say I'm back at it, and hopefully come September we'll be back on the Europe track of things. So you can have no support in the world, and luckily for me, I had my family, and my family pushed me to my limits every single time. Even those mornings that I didn't want to get up and do therapy for my ankle, or where I was like, oh, I'm just lazy and it's cold outside, I'm not going for a run today. It was, no, you're going for a run today. If you want this, I'm going to give you a reminder every day. It was like, there was always a reason you can do something. There was never a can't. You cannot do that. I mean, that was never in my vocabulary, and I think that's a big thing, because you're gonna get out there and there's gonna be people that say you can't do something. So prove them wrong. For a lot of people, they read motivational books or audio or anything like that. For me, music is key for me. I'm the guy that always has my headphones on. I'm listening to something that gets me fired up. I'm in the gym, and I make everything a competition. When I'm in the gym, I see somebody else working out, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 10 more reps than that person, and I'm gonna do 10 more reps than that person, and that person's running 5 miles, well, I'm gonna do 7 miles. I mean, just making everything in life a competition, regardless if they know it or not. You're competing against them, and I think that's great. So music, and believe it or not, YouTube videos. I watch so much soccer film just so I can study. I mean, it's my homework. So you watch the best of the best over and over and over again, then you come out here and you practice that over and over and over again. Before you know it, it's going to be ingrained in you. So parents might not like this, but I say do what you want. That is my biggest piece of advice. Do what you want, because you know what, when you're young, you get to take advantage of being passionate about whatever it is without being judged. And so I think it is very, very important to take advantage of that when you're so young, because you have everything free in your mind and nothing is restricting you. So take advantage and go do what it is you want to be. I would like to thank my two parents, Travis and Carrie Bennett, all my siblings, Ivan, Chase, Brooklyn, Delaney. I would like to thank the Kingsbury family for always being loving and supporting to me. The Garrick family as well, they've always had my back. I have a lot of really great people out there that are always gunning for me, whether I know it or not, and even if they're silent, I know that they're always there, and I know if I didn't have the support that I have now, there's a lot of places that I wouldn't have made it. So I got to thank every single one of you. So thank you so much.
I'd like to thank Austin Bennett for taking the time to talk about his life and about some of the values that are important to him and what's important for all of us. So thanks a lot, Austin, for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.